Investigating strange psychic signatures within Segmentum Pacificus, the Dark Angel's battle barge, the Intangible Virtue, breaks warp into system. There they find the origins of the anomaly to be on the Refinery world of Pilon 4. With all means of communication proving ineffective, the Dark Angels dispatch a patrol detachment led by Lieutenants Izual and Kame via dropship to Production Site Alpha.
Any theories as to why we can't establish contact with Foundry Primus?
It's hard to say. According to the orbital relays, several transport ships set out leaving system. There are no signs of invasion or enemy vessels.
Then what? Another cult uprising?
It's possible. In any event, there is no response.
Let's hope there is still something down there. Dead men tell no tales.
Agreed. How are the Battle Brothers?
Eager. We have spent too long sailing the warp.
I think it would be wise to tread with caution. There are too many unknown variables for my liking.
An opportunity to bring the Emperor's retribution once again.
Aye, let's get ready for landing.
Emperor, damn it! There isn't anything here but servitors.
No signs of a struggle, and the servitors are still operating as normal. We'll have our scouts extend their sweep to the outlying perimeter. Until they are done, we will continue our patrol.
Webway translocation complete. Time is of the essence. See that none interfere with the ritual. I have divined the many outcomes of this mission. None result in our failure. Very good, Sigmar. I will leave you to your task.
Priority message from the scouting party. Enemy sighted. Heretic Astartes. 15th Legion. 1 kilometer due north. 10 legionnaires and counting. No signs of dropships or transports.
Understood. Sergeant, tell the scouts to stay unseen and continue reporting. Izual, rally the men. I think we found the answer to this mystery.
Form up, brothers. Retribution is at hand.
And with both factions on the table, let's go over the mission parameters for this match. The mission is knowledge above all. It's a custom mission loosely based off of Ambush from the core rulebook. The Dark Angels deploy first as the attackers, and the Thousand Sons deploy second as the defenders. The victory conditions are that the Thousand Sons must survive until the game ends, to represent denying passage. The Dark Angels' victory condition is to defeat the Thousand Sons warlord in combat, essentially to capture the foe. The two unique spins on this mission are, as it was foretold, which grants the Thousand Sons prepared positions at no cost, and Gatekeeper, which binds the Thousand Sons warlord to their deployment zone. Next, to give you guys proper context to the unique characters in the game, let's go over them. To start, we have Izual and Kame. They are a named pair of Primaris lieutenants. Keeping them in line with default lieutenants, they use a shared datasheet. As far as their stat lines are concerned, there's nothing beyond the ordinary here, but we have decided to provide them each with one unique piece of war gear and an ability, which is pretty standard as far as named characters go. Essentially, they have each been given one special issue war gear item, which speaks to their character. Izual has been given Bolts of Judgment, and Kame has been given a mastercrafted power sword. We also tweaked the Company of Heroes ability to provide one additional command point if the pair of lieutenants are taken. Ordinarily, this is an option which is rarely seen, mainly due to the points cost and value provided by a second lieutenant often not being worthwhile. Regarding their unique abilities, Izual has Gunslinger, providing him the ability to add 1 to his hit rolls with pistol weapons, which will allow him to utilize his Bolts of Judgment with extreme prejudice. In reference to the duelist and knightly aspects of the Dark Angels, Kame's ability is Parrying Blade, enabling him to better defend against enemy melee attacks. And in keeping with named characters, they each have warlord traits they must take should they be warlords. These have been pulled from the Dark Angels Codex, and the specified traits are the most apt to each character's sensibilities. Zigvar is the unique character or enemy boss of the mission. While he is named, he is fairly conventional. He has been given the Pythic Brazier Relic, and the powers he knows are Prescience, Weaver of Fates, and Divine the Future. And lastly, his warlord trait is High Magister, allowing him to add 1 to psychic tests. All choices made with the intent of it being thematic to a Cult of Prophecy sorcerer. The last custom mechanic in today's game will be the close combat hit roll table. The idea here is to better reflect the nature of melee combat versus warriors of greater or lesser skill. Why can a captain hit a demon prince as easily as a cultist? Feels a bit weird, right? So here's a simple mechanic we are trying out. Instead of rolling on your weapon skill, you roll on your weapon skill versus the enemy's weapon skill, working similarly to the existing wound roll table. As an example, a demon prince and a captain both have a weapon skill of 2+, so they would need a 4+ to hit each other. If that captain were instead to be fighting cultists, he would be hitting on 2s, since his weapon skill is double that of the cultists. Here we are after deployment is complete. The bulk of the Dark Angels have deployed dead center, ready to ambush the Crimson Sun's forces, with the unit of scouts which spotted these Crimson Suns among these containers. The Thousand Suns deployed second, looking to deny the Dark Angels from pressing further into the Refinery, and 1 command point was spent for webway infiltration on the second unit of Rubric Marines.
Thousand Suns will now roll to seize the initiative. Close, but not close enough. We'll be back after the Dark Angels movement phase.
Recapping Dark Angels movement phase for turn 1. The Intercessors moved forward, supported by Izual and Kame, with the Hellblasters in behind, looking to push through the blockade. The Plasma Devastators advanced on a 1. Tavish was looking to position the entirety of the unit for subsequent turns, but with the result of a 1 for their advance roll, it means they will need to move again on their turn 2. And the Scouts slightly repositioned so they could all draw line of sight to the cultists. Starting in the shooting phase were the Scouts, but because of the prepared positions offered by the mission, they were only able to drop 3 cultists. In response, Lieutenant Kame issues the order Rapid Fire to the group of Intercessors. At a squad size of 10, that is 40 shots. The blistering bolt rifle volleys drop another 14 cultists. Then the Hellblasters supercharge and fire into the Hellbrood. It results in 3 of them being slain to the volatile weapons, but it ends up dealing 14 damage, utterly destroying the Hellbrood. But does it explode?
To see if that Hellbrood explodes. And it does.
Yo, did Zigbar see that one come in?
I think I would like to say he did, which is why he's going to command the reroll.
Oh, god damn it.
Well, 4 means he can't explode, but it also means I can't auto-pass my morale. Okay, so closing out the shooting phase is Lieutenant Izual himself firing his Stalker bolt rifle into the Rubric Marines over here.
Alright, so he's hitting on force because he's moving with his heavy weapon. And he misses. I think Zigbar is seeing into the future, hoping his Marines dodge.
He must have told him to duck.
Yeah.
Alright, in the morale phase here, because I've lost half of my cultists, that means I'm going to lose the remaining half plus d6. And because I don't have the CP anymore to auto-pass because I wanted to avoid that explosion hurting my character and the Rubric Marines, I'm going to have to just let these guys flee. So we'll be back at the start of the Thousand Suns turn. Alright, so really simple movement phase for the Thousand Suns, or for the Crimson Suns, I should say. Not looking too good, but I'll do my best not to let the Dark Angels pass. So, we're going to go right to the psychic phase. Starting with Zigbar, because of his Warlord trait High Magister, he has +1 to his casts. So, the first power he'll be casting will be Weaver of Fates on the Rubric Marine squad. I'm looking for a 6, and he gets it. Which means they have +1 to their vulnerable save, making them much more resilient. And for the second power to manifest from Zigbar, it will be Prescience, which is looking for a 7. And he gets it. Very good, Zigbar. Very good. For the Sorcerer and the Icon of Flame the Aspiring Sorcerer and the Icon of Flame in range, I could smite into the Intercessors, but then I have a feeling Tavish would remove the Sergeant and I would lose my rapid fire volume. So I'll end my psychic phase here and we'll be back in the shooting phase. Alright. Crimson Sun's shooting phase. My only unit of Rubric Marines are shooting into the unit of Intercessors. In my hand, I'm holding 17 Zinch, forgive me. 17 Inferno Bolt gun shots from the Rubric Marines with Inferno Bolters, and the Inferno Bolt pistol from the Sorcerer. We'll do this Rubric Cannon after. So, these are hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s for the Exalted Sorcerer Zigbar. Oh, that's how you roll. Okay. So we have a 1. Got these ones here. So the Prescience and the reroll 1s are great. So we have a full tables, or a full volley of shots going in, and these are wounding on 4s because they are strength 4. Look at that, I picked them all up. Okay. Wounding on 4s, we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Not the greatest.
Okay.
Not the greatest at all. We have 4 wounds at AP 2.
Alright, so we're saving on 5s. So 2 save.
So 1 intercessor only falls.
Yes.
This is not looking good. Okay. Soul Reaper Cannon, firing it. Hitting on 2s again. It's a heavy weapon, but all this dust allows them to move and shoot without penalty. So, all hit, and these are wounding on 3s this time. We have 2 wounds.
AP.
You know what? I'll reroll 1 from my Pythic Brazier relic from Ritual of the Damned. So we roll 1 wound roll. It doesn't make a difference. There is no Zinch.
Ha!
Zinch is not here this day.
Yeah, just
Clearly.
this guy.
Anyways.
So 2, what's the AP?
-2.
Alright, so 5s.
Sorry, -3.
So 6s. Should I reroll that?
Let's do a test. Yeah, you should roll.
Rats. I think Tzinch is here somewhere. He just doesn't. He acts in ways that you cannot foresee.
Apparently.
So that's 2 damage through.
Yes.
So another intercessor dies.
Good. That was the plan. It was 100% my plan all along. And they're not going to feel morale, so we'll be back in the the Dark Angels movement phase.
Recapping the Dark Angels Turn 2 movement phase. It's fairly straightforward. The core group pushed further towards Zigbar, and the Devastators did move slightly to enable their Sergeant to get into position.
Okay, next. Generally for narrative, I would prefer to keep the dice rolling out of it, except for, as I mentioned, with the characters and critical objective plays, but things are getting a bit hairy right now. The intercessors are firing in, and in the tactical doctrine, it's AP -2 on their bolt rifles.
Right.
So I have decided to use the stratagem from Ritual of the Damned, Indomitable Foes, because you see, this is why Zinch didn't want me to fight you; they wanted me to resist you. So what Indomitable Foes does is it allows me to add another 1 to my invulnerable save. With Weaver of Fates previously, that's a 3-up invulnerable save. So do your worst, Space Marine.
Oh, I won't do my worst. I'll do my best. Because I'm the first Legion, and it's the best Legion. So 20 shots hitting on 3s. I'll reroll this one. So that doesn't seem too bad. And now we are wounding on 4s. Rerolling 1s for my cool 2 lieutenants.
This one was already rolled.
Alright, so we got just a few. Looks like 5.
Just 5. Okay. So, using my invulnerable save. 1 falls.
It's pretty good.
Not bad. Next, the plasma units fired in, the Hellblasters supercharged, and the Plasma Devastators fired in normal, everyone going into the Rubric Marines, and they managed to take out another 5. Closing of the shooting phase will be Lieutenants Izual and Kame, but Kame will be firing first into the Rubric Marines. This is his bolt pistol.
Oh yeah, hitting on 3s. Ooh, no.
He misses.
Yes, so now the Heavy Stalker, or Master...
Or Izual's Mastercrafted Stalker rifle.
Yes, there we go. Hitting on 4s because he moved. Yeah, okay.
Oh, he hits.
And he's wounding on 3s. Or 4s, sorry. And he wounds on the 4.
He does wound on a 4. They have a 3-up invulnerable save, which they pass. And summarizing the charge phase, the Intercessors suffered no wounds from the Overwatch from the remaining Rubric Marines, and the result of their charge was 5, which was exactly what they needed to get into close combat. We'll be right back in the fight phase. Small interlude here before we get into the fight phase proper. Tavish has decided to charge in with his lieutenants, Izual and Kame, into the unit of Rubric Marines to get some extra movement out of his charge phase. He needs a 7.
Alright, so for Kame first. Ooh,
Close.
6. He's more important than Izual because he has the Warlord aura that gives him a Warlord trait aura that gives him +1 strength. So I only need to increase this by 1. I may spend my last command point to reroll that 2.
Good luck. Oh, and he
there he goes.
absolutely makes it in.
And just while we're here, I'm going to roll the 2 dice for Izual as well, who needs a 7. And he is just shy.
Nothing much you can do about that.
Nope.
Way back in the fight phase. Alright, starting in the fight phase is Kame. Just as a quick reminder, because of the dueling rules we're using to better represent the mechanics of characters fighting in melee, Kame will be hitting against the Rubric Marines on 3-up because he has a better weapon skill than them.
Yes.
So we have 5 attacks on the charge from Kame, hitting on 3s. Nice roll, 4 hits. And because of his Warlord trait, he has +1 to his strength.
Yes.
So he will also be wounding on 3s.
Yes. We're rolling 1s, so his Lieutenant Aura.
That is correct. So 3 wounds against the Rubric Marines. I need to check if my stats are correct for my invulnerable save, because I don't think the boost remains beyond the phase. My suspicions were correct. Indomitable Foes does not last. It only lasts for the shooting phase, or the phase it's used in. But Weaver of Fates does last until my next psychic phase. So I'm looking for 3 4-up saves. And 1 fails, 1 passes, and the other passes as well.
That was 4-ups.
Sorry, 4-ups. You are absolutely correct. I'm not cheating. So 2 Rubric Marines fall. Okay, and summarizing the fight phase, well, as you can see here, there are no Rubric Marines left, and that is because 6 Intercessors charging in with a Lieutenant with the +1 from his Warlord trait to their strength did a dumpster of an amounts worth of attacks. Yes, and even though I had all this dust to save on 2s, didn't have enough bodies to wear that. So this is where Xigbar is going into turn 2 for the Thousand Suns. We'll be back at the end of the Thousand Suns movement phase. Things look grim, but I sense something on its way. And here we are. Emerging from the webway are the final vanguard of the Crimson Suns. Barring the path of the Dark Angels, they shall not pass. Alrighty, starting in the psychic phase, Xigbar knows exactly what he will cast. We'll start with Prescience. Warp trait value of 7 on the Rubric Marines above him. Ooh, 7 + 1 from his Warlord trait. 8, that is enough. So they have +1 to hit. And on himself this time, he will cast Weaver of Fates. Looking for a 6.
No.
He gets it with Apparels. I have to wear it. I don't have the CP to reroll. So D3 mortal wounds to himself.
Ooh.
It's 3. So sometimes the best defense is when you hurt yourself.
Yeah, well,
Zinchas will be done.
I guess so. I feel like he's on my team.
You may think that. Okay. So, in the shooting phase, the Rubric Marines will destroy these unit of Intercessors.
Destroy?
They will destroy them.
Didn't work out last time.
This isn't exactly. Well, this is different.
Different.
This is different.
I swear.
So, these are hitting on 2s. These are for the bolt pistol and all the bolt guns.
Right.
All the inferno bolt shots. 17 in total. Hitting on 2s, rolling 1s for Xigbar.
Ooh.
No 1s.
I think you're right. It is different.
I mean, it is slightly better than last time, so hopefully we can wound better as well. We're looking for fours.
Okay.
It's better than last time. I'll say that. And you know what? I might as well use the Pythic Brazier's ability to reroll one wound roll that failed.
Ooh.
That's another one.
So how many is that?
It is 7.
7. Alright, so let's get these gross red dice out of here. What am I? Crimson Suns? Crimson Angels? No. I'm Blue Angels.
You're Dark Angels.
I know.
Blue dice.
Yes.
Well, look at that.
Okay, so I think I only saved 2. Which means 2 4 damage will kill 2 guys, and 1 will leave 1 with 1 wound remaining.
Here we are on the Thousand Suns turn. The end of Thousand Suns turn. The end of the Crimson Suns turn 2. It's the only way I'll learn. Okay, we'll be back with the Dark Angels movement phase. Reviewing the Dark Angels movement phase. Although the odds look highly against the Thousand Suns, we have to remember the Dark Angel's victory condition is to capture Zigbar by defeating him in melee. So what this means is if Izual or if Kane fails the charge, that leaves a lot of tools open for the Thousand Suns to smite or fire into characters. To mitigate this, Tavish has decided to keep the Intercessors stationary, as well as the Hellblasters, and of course the Devastators. That way it'll allow him to leverage Grim Resolve and reroll 1s and get more supercharged action against the Rubric Marines up here.
Yes. I think it's worth noting that shout out to Zigbar for staying on the ground level.
Oh yeah, Zigbar is unlike most characters of the Thousand Suns. Zigbar fights with honor.
Short summary for the shooting phase. Between the remaining Bolter Fire and Hellblaster Fire, 4 Rubric Marines fall. But against the Plasma Devastators, which are now standing still and supercharging, they suffer 6 wounds, rolling now to save.
6 5-up saves. And I'll reroll this one because it's cocked. And unfortunately, all of them pass.
No, pass.
Oh, whoopsies. Zinch loves me. Shooting phase are the characters. Izual can't shoot because he advanced to close in on the Warlord Zigbar, but Kane, before charging in, will be firing his bolt pistol at the aspiring sorcerer up top.
Right, so he's hitting on 3s. Hits. Wounding on 4s. No.
He does not wound.
Entering into the charge phase, Kane is looking to engage Zigbar in combat. Tavish needs to at least roll a 4 to get Kane in.
Green.
And he absolutely gets in. Zigbar's Overwatch, looking for 6s. No cigar. We'll be back with the fight phase.
First Legion dogs, you truly are fools if you think you can interfere with the schemes of fate.
Stand down. Cooperation will only ease what's in store for you.
My skills exceed yours.
In the realm of the Imperium, perhaps so. In a contest of arms, I'm doubtful.
And with that, Kane has 5 attacks with Shock Assault.
Yes.
And because we are equal in weapon skill, you will be hitting on 4s.
That's correct. Okay.
And a very above average roll. Kane is looking to strike Zigbar down.
Yes. Only natural for him to hit and also wound so much. To reroll the 1.
Oh my goodness, reroll the 1.
Oh.
This is not
Zigbar.
looking good. 4 saves to make with Weaver of Fate. 4 4-ups. And with that, that will be Zigbar slain.
Tournament. How could I lose?
Sergeant, take the prisoner to Thunderhawk 9.
Yes, Lieutenant. Consider it done.
His conspirators are sure to be nearby. All units continue sweeping the area.
That was quite the debrief. Could have cut the tension with a knife.
It is warranted. The schemes of the Thousand Sons Thrall bands are without doubt malign, and they appear to have achieved their aims. That being said, the Council and the Master seem pleased enough with our performance.
Well, the heretics don't make it a habit to allow their damned sorcerers to be taken alive, especially not by a couple of lieutenants.
A very good point. Perhaps I shouldn't be so dour.
My thoughts exactly. Fitting for it to be First Legion lieutenants to achieve such great feats, eh, brother?
Ha, that's quite enough as well. Perhaps we should join the Battle Brothers in the mess hall.
Haha, that's the spirit.
You two work well together.
Master Armendal.
I hate to sour your mirth, but orders have come from command. There is work to be done as well. Your presence is also required, Kate. Of course, Master Ormondal. We will accompany you at once. No need to rush, Kame. You two visit your company. Camaraderie is important. I will contact the two of you when you are required.
Understood, Master Chaplain.
He seems to be enjoying this quite a bit.
Rest assured, Inquisitor. He just has an aptitude for interrogation.
Let's hope that is the case. So have you given any more thought to my offer?
We both know my position does not warrant me to divert assets at my behest.
We also both know how your council views your position, the bright rising star lieutenant of the Dark Angels. There is much darkness in this grim galaxy of ours, and the Cicatrix Maledictum is all the reminder I need. We must be ready.
My loyalties are to the Emperor and the Unforgiven. Trust that I will do what I can when the time comes.
Good. I'm relieved to hear that came. There are many threats beyond the veil. On that note, the prisoner doesn't look like he's going to relent any information.
Just give it some time, Inquisitor. They always do.